Welcome back to the Globe Grab podcast. Today we'll be discussing the Russian Federation. Now, this episode is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to really talk about its politics or internal struggles or really any modern Russian stuff, but mainly the physical geography. So as you all know, Russia is the largest country on Earth by far by land area. And so it has a lot of weird and cool physical attributes. First thing I'm going to talk about is this big old banana island up here, which is actually the test site of the most powerful nuclear weapon in all of human history, most powerful bomb in all of human history, for that matter. So Yuzhny Island, so the Tsar bomb, which is what the Russians called it, was dropped on this island. I don't know what year, but at some point in the 20th century. It was so powerful that its shockwave rounded the Earth 3 times, and it ruptured windows in Finland. So that's how powerful it was. It was much more powerful than anything dropped on Japan or tested in the United States. They only had one, and they only used one, so that was that. Another thing about Russian geography is that this island, this little insignificant island up here, which is known as Wrangel Island, was the last home of woolly mammoths. And woolly mammoths could actually be found on this island after Columbus was born. So the Americas were still formally undiscovered by the by the old world, and woolly mammoths were still living on this island right here. So, another sort of bit of Russian geographical interest is that Russia is home to the tallest mountain in Europe, Mount here in the Caucasus, and that is Mount Elbrus, I believe. Yeah, Mount Elbrus is right here. So that's the tallest mountain in Europe. Russia is home to lots of mountains, home to the Caucasus Mountains, the Urals, which divide Europe and Asia, and a couple other major mountain ranges. The Caucasus are the tallest in Russia, though. This massive peninsula over here is known as the Kamchatka Peninsula, which I always thought was sort of a cool name. I don't know, it's just a peninsula, I guess. Russia, although sort of being known as a very cold country, is not actually the most northern country in the world. That goes to Denmark, actually, since it owns Greenland, and Greenland is the most northern landmass on Earth that we know of. There could be islands under the Arctic that we just can't see. Russia also borders the most countries on Earth, and is home, I was about to say that with Mount Elbrus, but is home to the largest lake in Europe as well, which is Lake Ladoga, and the second largest lake in Europe, Lake Onega. And it also shares a large coastline with the Caspian Sea, which is actually the largest lake on Earth, which sort of straddles Europe and Asia. Surprisingly, Russia does not actually have that big of a population. I mean, it's large compared to small countries, but Russia only has about 145 million people, So that means it actually has a smaller population than Bangladesh right here. Yeah. Russia, I believe, it has one of the longest coastlines. I think Canada actually beats it out because of all of its islands. And, yeah, Russia is just a vast wilderness, pretty much sparsely populated. Very interesting. It's rich with resources. Man, that's Russia. I mean, there's lots of stuff that I haven't mentioned that Russia has in it, but that would be a long podcast for me to name all that stuff. Yeah, Russia borders North Korea, has a tiny little border right here. Just keeping China in there, right there. Russia also borders China, Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Ukraine, Belarus, Latvia, Estonia, and Finland, and Norway. Mustn't forget, also shares a small border. So that means that Norway is separated by one country by North Korea. Oh, sorry, Russia also borders Lithuania and Poland. Yes, Russia, that's another weird anomaly. Russia owns this little bit of land called the Kaliningrad Oblast, which it actually gained from defeating Germany in World War II, and it's what's left of Prussia, really. That's what Prussia is today, Kaliningrad. It's a Russian oblast, which is like a province, I think, something like that. So yeah, this is actually one of the smallest times in Russia's history. It used to own a lot more, but that's Russia today. And of course, Russia had Alaska as a colony for a long time. But then America, we bought it from them. Yeah, that's Russian geography. Thank you for listening.